Welcome to Germany versus USA. Today we're going to talk about annoying things.
Alex and I always talk about everything we love about each other's country.
I think it's just happy.
Just happy-go-lucky.
But there are things that kind of annoy us. Yeah.
We don't love everything. Not everything.
Not everything.
Most things
are pretty awesome, but then there are a couple of things that are very annoying about one another's country and about one another's people, I guess.
I can start. There's different things I could start with, but I guess I'm going to start with... Yeah. I had a funny way of expressing the euro earlier today when I called it the euro dollar. And
so it's like, I hate the $2 euro.
I just hate the $2 euro. That makes a lot of sense. Right. But I do not like the euros, or to be even more specific, how reliant or how common use of money, cash in Germany is. Mm-hmm. I don't like touching money or exchanging money.
Right.
And also I don't my wallet. I don't like having the euros in my pocket. I always would just have so many odds and ends in euros.
And Jim kind of loses control of how much actually cash, coins are worth. So he will have a bunch of coins with 30 euros, and he just tip.
Well,
I don't.
I never would pay with coins.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, in my American mind, that's insulting, and so I always just give cash, bills, and then I get coins back. I'm like, oh, awesome, $6 or euros worth of coins.
$6 euros.
Yeah, just can't wait to put that in my pocket. Now I'm walking around jingling all day, and I was like, well. And so then I got a little man purse that I had to put in my pocket, and it looked like I had a lump.
To Jim, a man purse is a wallet that, here's my wallet actually, that has a coin pouch.
Yes, a little coin pouch.
That's a man purse to Jim.
That is this leading off with the coins.
Okay, we got it. Coins for Jim, not a good thing.
Not my favorite.
My turn it is. And having watched a lot of American movies, and having been to the States to sports events, one thing that is a little annoying to me is the omnipresence of patriotism and pride of the United States of Americans. I can see why you should be proud of it, of course, but it's very much and very often right into your face, and that kind of comes with the
American flag right there.
Exactly. It kind of goes in with the hero stories that you will have in American movies. Of course they work. People like to watch that. But when the stereotypical, what is it called, Air Force One, for instance, that movie, when I watched that and you saw Harrison Ford flying the Air Force One, and then, there was a jet flying by him, and he did the salute. Yeah, and it's guys, come on. It's really, that's what he's going to do? I mean, he will probably do that, but I guess it's just a thing that I find a little bit I roll my eyes, at least.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, you do see that all the time. I roll my eyes all the time. Yeah.
Another one of my annoyances is the lack of air conditioning. And I know, look, I get it. It's a stereotype. Europe doesn't have air conditioning, but they really have it somewhere. No. They don't have enough air conditioning. They really don't. And it's a bigger problem to me than just not having air conditioning, because it leads to other things that I get cranky with. Hey, I don't like sweating. Now, if I'm playing soccer or working out or, in a sauna, yeah, I can sweat. But if I'm walking to go to the library, then I get to the library and it's like a sauna in the library. I'm sweating on the pages, and then I'm getting antsy, or I'm at a restaurant trying to eat lunch, and the guy next to me is super sweaty and just has bad body odor because there's no air conditioning.
So you're saying Europeans smell a little bit every once in a while?
Maybe. Sometimes there's a smelly European syndrome. Look, not a stereotype, but hey, I'm just putting it on the table.
That's cool. The United States is a country designed for cars. And that leads to the lack of bike path, of walking path. Actually, if I were to go to the next grocery store from here, I couldn't get there without a car. And that's really annoying that you can't walk a certain
Why would you walk when you could just take the car?
Exactly. But in Germany and Europe, it's very common not to have a car. Whereas in the United States, you need a freaking car if you want to go places. And not just because of the distances. I mean, very often it is because of the distances, but often because the infrastructure just doesn't provide it to be able to walk somewhere or to take the bike somewhere. And often, like, when you see people like jogging or running, they will have to run on the road. They will not be like a walk path or anything. And then, it depends regionally, of course, but in general, very much car focus in the United States.
We have too many cars. Oh, completely agree. 'Cause I get
Actually, Jim hates cars.
yeah, I get real like annoyed as well, like having to drive around when like it's so much more convenient. So I can side with that, as long as the cars stay big.
And have an AC.
Yes, and have an AC. Sundays, not my favorite day in Germany.
You can go pick mushrooms in the woods.
Or I could do nothing else. Like with Sundays, shops not being open. Now you get a little bit of that here, but Germany, they take it to another level. The shutdown, the hours are different, or the grocery store is closed. And that can be very hard on someone when and it's probably a little bit of my fault not preparing better or waiting till the last minute.
Oh, it's even Germans don't they're not prepared for Sundays. They're always annoyed that they need to do all the shopping on Saturdays.
Well, you're busy during the week, and then Sunday, it's such a hard change of gears to be like, oh yeah, I gotta get everything done because Sunday I can't do anything. So Sundays, open a few stores up.
It's like a government forced relaxation day.
Yeah, which I probably need that. I probably need that.
This is a delicate point, but I find it very important. To me, the United States could have done a lot better job of processing their historic past, and perhaps also the mistakes they have made in the past. Where, when you think about slavery, when you think about Native Americans, to me, I mean, Americans are aware of it and they say, it was wrong, but it's just, to me, it's, I guess, also being from Germany and having processed what happened in World War II, it's a very different attitude towards that kind of topic in Germany than it is in the United States, of course, because it's different things. But I guess Americans could be more conscious of, what kind of terrible things happened in the past. And I feel they could do a better job of processing that, I guess.
With that said, I think kind of the flip side, you kind of mentioned it earlier, that Americans are a little too prideful, or proud of their country, where sometimes it bothers me that Germans are not as proud of Germany as I feel they should be. Yeah. And we know what happened in the past. And no German, I've never met a German who hides from that. Like, they know that. Yeah. But there's a lot going on that's super positive now. And, I think sometimes they could just be a little prouder to be German.
Okay. I think that goes in with the American attitude of let the past be the past a little bit, which goes to my point that I had earlier, and it was more future-oriented, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of Germans are probably going to be, nodding when they hear, let the past be the past and be a little more prouder of your country. And I think that has changed a little bit also in the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Here's a subtle thing. I talked about very broad topics, but this is like a tiny little thing, but I hate it when I'm in an American restaurant and one person, you're eating a group and one person is done eating and the waiter comes and takes away the plate. I find it so rude, actually. It always drives me mad. Besides that, the general, the waiting service in the States and restaurants, I like that a lot. I like that they're personal, that they, introduce them with their first names. I like that a lot, but the only thing that really, really drives me nuts is when they take away the plate. So the person, that is done eating will just be sitting there doing nothing, and
just hanging
four
out.
Other people are eating. Yeah, stop that, people. Stop it. Don't take the plates away. Don't take them away.
My last point, and this is a very small thing, but really drives me insane, is when you're in a park or you're walking, and someone on a bike or someone with a stroller, they ring a bell at you to get past.
Okay, so to drive by you, basically?
Yeah, to go by you. They'll hit the bell instead of just saying, they're coming from the left or the right. And it just gets under my skin so much. And I get it. It's a wonderful system because you hear a bell and you're like, oh yeah, I just need to like get out of the way. But at the same time, like
if you're not used to it.
Yeah, you're not used to it. It's kind of like I'm driving and someone honks at you. Something just flips in my head where I'm just like, what? You know, just like completely irrational. But like here in the U.S. and like around where I'm from, people instead of like ringing their bells, they'll say, hey, I'm coming from the left, coming from the right.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just something my brain goes, that's polite of you. You like spoke to me instead of just ringing a bell. And I'm not talking about like a guy like Lance Armstrong coming around the corner at 40 miles per hour. I'm talking about, you know, a grandma casually riding a bike, and then you just start hearing the bell, and you're like, okay, you know, I got 5 minutes of this, you know, so like, I get it. Yeah, all right, here, come on, you know, like, come on. So yeah, the bell system just gets under my skin a little bit.
I can see why. My next point, or my last point actually, is probably a point that most of you who have been around American groups and restaurants in Europe or in the United States will have experienced. It's how loud Americans can be. Sometimes Americans are very, I mean, any group might be, but you know, you will see it very often with American groups. They are oblivious to their surroundings. The other day we went to a restaurant, and we were talking like with a couple of people were sitting there and talking, and then 2 Americans came in and they sat down, and we basically had to stop our conversation because they were speaking so loud.
So loud, and then they had people come up and were standing, and it took everything in my power because my mother was in town not to like stand up and like pull the chair out from under them.
It was really, and you will have that in European cafes or restaurants, that people actually nod up when they hear a group of Americans coming in, because for some reason the sound level is just a little further up.
We can be a little loud sometimes. Everyone has stuff that gets under their skin. I really want to know what y'all's are, because I feel like everyone has like a funny, weird thing, you know, 1 or 2. But overall, you know,
we made a video about things we like about one another in this country, so
we wouldn't be doing we wouldn't be doing this series if we didn't love each other's countries. So,
but now we want to hear the bad stuff.
Yeah, now we want to hear just a few bad things.
Okay, cheers.
Y'all take it easy.
Cheers.